All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz, Thursday, June 30th. Hard to believe June's already over. This year's going by pretty quick. But today's also free agency for NBA starts today. You're already seeing a lot of rumors on moves that are going to happen and stuff. So hopefully free agency stays busy because this is kind of the slow part of the year for sports. So if free agency's busy, it's more to talk about. Joined by Greg as usual. How's it going, Greg?
It is going good, my man. It's going good. It's hot outside, but yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, it's hot out here as well. I know it's going good for you, like you had just said. It's your Friday going into a 4-day weekend, so that's always a good thing.
It's always a good thing. Yes.
Well, we got a lot going on in free agency. I figured we'd start with the NBA free agency and we got a couple other things too. But one big thing that happened last night was Miles Bridges was arrested for a felony domestic violence warrant.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means they were investigating him for something prior, or if something happened yesterday and then they put a warrant out for him. There hasn't been a whole lot of more information come out about it, but this is the worst timing in the world for Miles Bridges, the guy that was getting ready to try to demand a max contract. For this to come out, this could really hurt his pocketbooks on his new contract that he's trying to sign.
Oh yeah, definitely. This was not the best timing for that. We'll probably get more info on it, later on today or tomorrow, as far as what all happened. But it's just one of those things where you have to be careful who you're dealing with as far as your personal life, because people don't always have the best intentions for you. So and we'll see. Like I said, we'll find out what all happened. But it's something that he's definitely gonna have to learn from. And people that are gonna make you do that or put you in a position to mess up your career and things like that, you need to get those people out of your life, out of your circle, so that these things don't keep on happening.
Yes, because there's been the big question was did Miles Bridges deserve the max deal? And if the Hornets should have done that, now it's going to get shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know. Like you said, you got to be smart. You got to be smarter, especially when you're in the position these players are, because unfortunately, there's always people out there that'll try to take advantage of you as well. Not saying that's what happened here. He might be guilty here. I don't know either way, but it does happen where some people are just out to take advantage of people because they know they're a star. They know they have that money and stuff. So like
Yep.
you said, you really got to be careful when you're at that status. You got to be careful who you're associating with.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And did he deserve the max for all this? Miles Bridges is a good player. I don't think he was. I don't think they were going to give him the max that he was, looking for. But now, obviously, with this news, he's probably definitely not going to get that now. So
Yeah, I didn't think he. I really, I'll be honest. I didn't think he was a max player before this happened. Uh, he might have got it from a team, and this is something we was talking about yesterday. I didn't think he would get it from the Hornets because the Hornets, I think, with the roster they're trying to build, they would basically handcuff themselves.
all
He
right,
might have got it from a non-contending team. Not that the Hornets are a contending team, but maybe even a non-playoff team, somebody that's rebuilding. He might have got it from them just because sometimes they'll sign contracts that don't make a whole lot of sense. But from a team that he was going to have a chance to win on, I don't believe he was going to get the max deal.
yeah, yeah. Same here. I don't think he was going to get the max in Charlotte. But now with this news, other teams are going to be kind of wary to, kind of mess with him right now. So he'll probably, pending, his legal matters, he'll be in Charlotte for this next season, and but it won't be on a max deal.
Yeah, I agree. And then big news yesterday, James Harden declined his player option with Philly. Uh, Everybody expects him. What the thing is, he's going to sign back with Philly on an extension, and in the way they're talking, not a max extension, probably kind of a team friendly extension, so they can bring in some other parts. Rumor is they're wanting to bring in PJ Tucker to Philly, which I think that'd be a good fit for Philly because leadership has kind of been one of their problems. And Tucker's not only a good player, but he's also, I believe, a good leader. I think he would help that Philadelphia locker room. Uh, but did it surprise you that Harden declined the option and gave up some of that money? Is Harden finally thinking that he wants to try to win?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it. I was surprised when that came out that he didn't take the max deal. I said, "Oh, that's different," and it does show that he does want to win. He wants to get some more help in there, some more players. So if the Sixers can land PJ Tucker, that's definitely a good thing. I mean, it's a good defensive player. So and he's a great leader, so he can help Embiid, in that as far as the leadership part. So that'll be a good pickup if the Sixers are able to get Tucker.
And Harden and PJ Tucker played together before.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Houston.
so
Yeah.
so, so I think that, I mean, you know what I mean, that's a good thing. If there's somebody that can get on Harden and almost put a foot in his ass and tell him, hey, you need to pick it up. I think Tucker would be a guy like that. That I think Harden has enough respect for Tucker that Tucker could get on him like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Tucker can, and they'll be one of the favorites again in the East if they're able to get that deal done. So we'll see.
And then on the opposite end of that spectrum, that's the one that a lot of people's been talking about, especially here at the ASAP Network. uh, Russell Westbrook opted into his 47 million player option. And I know a lot of Laker fans are mad and calling him selfish, and he don't want to win, and this and that, and that they wouldn't have took the money. They would have redone a deal to help the team. That's easy to say until you're sitting there and there's a $47 million check or contract sitting in front of you, and all you got to do is sign your name on it, and you have 47 million. That's easy for people like us that don't have that kind of money. Say, oh, I'd have took a little bit less. If there's $47 million sitting in front of me, I'm probably going to take the $47 million.
Bro, don't take it.
It's not Russell Westbrook's problem that the Lakers have done a bad contract and kind of got themselves handcuffed financially going into this next season. That's not. Hey, you're the one that signed me that deal. That's not my problem that you messed your books up. So I don't. I think it's kind of. I think he's getting a bad rap. People going after him like that because most players take the money. I mean, yeah, you have some players that redo their deals. I was surprised Harden did because he's been a player to me that's been more about that money. And but I've heard a lot of Lakers fans are really attacking Westbrook over this. And to me, hey, if I'm doing 47 million option, it's up to me if I'm taking it or not. I'm probably going to take the option.
Gonna take it, yeah. He wasn't gonna turn that down. Russ wasn't turning that down,
especially at this point in his career.
No, he's not. And then look, I get Lakers fans are ticked off. The organization just gave $47 million to one of the worst shooters that's on their team. I get all that, but again, that's bad business as far as the Lakers. So I don't blame Russ for taking money. The Lakers have to find a way to win with Russ. And what I've been saying is you can't win with Russ. So LeBron, his last few years, as we're coming up towards the end of his career, they're going to be wasted because he's playing with Russell Westbrook. And that's unfortunate for him. And the Lakers. I don't think all of a sudden Russ is gonna all of a sudden shoot 35% from three and all that. So the Lakers are handcuffed, as you say, Chris, and to get the free agents that they want and all that, they're not going to have enough to get the guys in to make a difference with this team. So they're going to have to win with what they have, and what they have is not going to be enough.
No, all they're basically going to be able to do to try to fill out their team and get the best team they can is bring in guys on vet minimums. And in my opinion, at the point where the Lakers are at, I don't think vet minimums are going to help you a whole lot.
Nope.
Because for one, you got to worry about your two big stars staying healthy, especially Anthony Davis. He's proven he hasn't stayed healthy for a whole season for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James, yeah, he hasn't been really injury prone throughout his career, but here the last couple of years, he's been getting some little nagging injuries. Like it's been real big injuries, but as you're getting older, it's harder to recover from them little nagging injuries, especially when you're a guy like LeBron and you don't get a whole lot of time off, and your team depends on you doing so much. So I think the Lakers are going to have a real hard time building a team that's going to be much more competitive than the team that they had last year until next season when they can get Russell Westbrook's contract off their books. But it's going to be fun. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. But to me, the Lakers are going to be dependent too much on. They're going to be too top heavy, and you got a couple guys as your stars one that's real injury prone, and the other one that's getting older. In the last couple of years, has had some nagging injuries. That's kind of slowed them down. So I think the Laker fans are in for another long season this season, because I don't think they're going to be able to do much to try to really rebuild that team the next year. And by then, I think LeBron James might be gone.
He's definitely going to leave. If they don't make the playoffs next year, then Bron is leaving. He's getting out of there. He's not going to waste his last years dealing with dealing with Russ. So no, yeah.
And he don't want, and I'm sure he don't want to waste his last few years at a chance of maybe trying to get another title on a rebuild. He's going to want to go somewhere where he thinks he's going to have a chance. I mean, people, whether people want to admit it or not, he's still trying. He's still chasing to get at least 6 rings. He's still chasing Jordan, trying to get them rings. And I don't know. I look for him to be somewhere else. Plus, I know he's wanting to play with his son eventually, but some news has come out about his son. His son better pick it up a little bit. I mean, he's still ranked high in the nation. But I don't know if you saw that. Bronny James had dropped from 29th ranked player in his class to the 60th, heading into his senior season.
Wow, that's that's a big drop.
And so, in a way, I think that might be. I was telling Jonathan Mathis this last night. I think it might be, in a way, a good thing that Bronny dropped, because that might make Bronny more focused going into his senior season, and he might come out and have it and play even better because he's more focused, and he might move up higher than what could move up higher than what he was by the end of the season.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes getting news like that, it can refocus you.
mm-hmm.
So if Bronny takes it the right way, and I mean, with LeBron being his dad, I think he will. I think it could help him. But another thing about Bronny, and not just Bronny, but you see this with guys that are all-time greats. A lot of times their kids don't get to that highest level in that same sport, because they're always compared. You're always going to be compared to your dad, and it puts a lot of pressure on you. So, I mean, that could, and Bronny's had that pressure on him since he's been a young kid. So that could be a factor that could affect it as well.
Yeah. A lot of the times, yeah, the kids don't, live up to, what their dads did. Michael Jordan's son, couldn't do it. And then the only sons that have been able to do it is the Mannings. That's it. I mean, Archie, he never made a Super Bowl, or, he never won one, but at least his sons were able to, in a way, be better than, he was when Archie was playing. So besides the Manning brothers, the sons typically don't, carry on that torch well. So we'll see what happens. Bronny can still have a good, senior season, and he can, move back up into the top 25. So he hasn't. Has he decided where he's going to go to college at yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, he has decided. All right. I know if Coach K was still at Duke, Brian and Coach K, have that, or are still tight, he probably would have went to Duke, but now it's kind of up in the air. So,
and then in NBA free agents, you also have the Knicks, who are seemingly going all in to get Jalen Brunson. Are the Knicks overpaying for a guy like Jalen Brunson, who had a great year this year, but if you look at it, hasn't really showed the consistency yet. I mean, they went and hired his dad as an assistant coach. they've been clearing the books to make room for him. I just don't know if Jalen Brunson is that type of player that you really want to put the future of your franchise all on him.
Yeah. He's not. Let's just be honest about it. Jalen Brunson is a good basketball player, but to put your whole future and say, okay, Jalen Brunson, you're going to be the one that's going to carry us all the way. That's a lot to ask for. And So I think the Knicks are overpaying for Jalen Brunson. Um, they're gonna have to get some other pieces around him if they want to, if they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Then Damien said the Ball brothers, Curry brothers aren't doing bad. Just saying.
Curry
Yes.
brothers have lived up to it. Yeah, yeah. Ball
Yeah.
brothers are good, but they still gotta.
But if you go to the level of like a Michael Jordan or a LeBron James or somebody like that, that's considered kind of like the GOAT in their sport,
Yeah,
sons of them type of players have really had a hard time making it at that next level.
yeah, yeah. And just imagine when it's time for Tiger Woods' son
Yep.
to play. That's gonna be on a whole. That pressure is gonna be on a whole different level when Tiger Woods' son, is
Yeah, because that's not even a team sport. That's
Yeah,
what I mean. That's all on you,
yeah,
and everybody's going to be expecting him to be the next Tiger.
exactly. Yeah, so that's a whole different, kind
And
of.
even you brought up the Mannings. You have Arch Manning getting ready to come out. Look how many comparisons are going to be made to his uncles.
Yep, yep. Pressure's gonna be on. He's gonna have to win a national championship or get to the college football playoff or something to make it seem like he lived up to that Manning name.
Well, that's why I kind of think it was a good decision for him to go to Texas instead of going to like Ole Miss or going to Tennessee.
Hmm.
Instead of going somewhere where your family's already had a legacy there. Go. I think it was good for him to go to a college where his family don't have a legacy and he has maybe have a chance to build his own.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a chance to build his own. Tennessee, that would have been a whole lot of pressure. That would have been a whole lot of pressure for Arch Manning. So him going to Texas is still pressure because it's Texas, and they are expected to uh, compete for Big 12 titles and national titles. So the heat is still on, but it's nothing like playing in the SEC.
So
So he got to avoid that. So, and that,
Damien says if
yeah,
Brunson goes to the Knicks, that'll kill his career.
yeah, that will, Damien. You're
Yep.
right. Everybody's career goes to die down there, huh? and it's you kind of miss the Knicks being good because they made the playoffs here the year before last, and
Yeah,
they
it
were
looked like they were finally starting to turn it around
yeah,
some.
yeah, they were turning around, and Madison Square Garden was rocking, for those couple playoff games, and it felt like the old, '90s there, and then they went backwards this past season. So when the Knicks are good, it definitely helps basketball. Um, we kind of miss them being good.
Yeah, and I thought they were finally going to get to where they were going to start being a competitive team maybe for a few years. And Julius Randle came out this year, didn't have the type of season that he'd been having, and then now I think they're making a mistake trying to go all in on a guy that isn't a guy you should go all in on yet.
Mm-mm.
Uh, Another interesting thing in free agency, John Wall reportedly is going to sign with the Clippers. Uh, I know a lot of people think John Wall makes the Clippers contenders for next season. What are your thoughts on that?
If John Wall can stay healthy, that's the big question. Can he stay healthy? Can he play at least 65, games, 70 games? When the Clippers are healthy, okay, you got John Wall, Kawhi, and you have Paul George. Is that a playoff team? Yeah. Can they make a run? Yes, if everybody's healthy. But that's gonna be the thing. Can everybody stay healthy. I still think John Wall has some left in his tank. I think he can still play. But again, health. The Clippers have a great coach in Ty Lue. So there's no question. But if everybody's on the injured list, it was a miracle they made the play-in game this past season. So but do I think they can be a contender if everybody's healthy? Yes, I do. They'll be now. I will say this: they will be better than the Lakers will. Sorry, Freddie, but they'll be better than the Lakers if they stay healthy for sure. Yes.
My thing with the Clippers is you're dependent so much on three guys to stay healthy that here over the last few years hasn't proved that they can.
Yeah.
I mean, Kawhi Leonard hasn't played for a year and a half. Wall hasn't played for a while. Paul George was hurt some last season, even though he's probably the one that's played the most out of the three. But and not only the injuries, also a concerning factor for me is who are you going to start? Are you going to start Reggie Jackson or John Wall? And if Ty Lue decides that Reggie Jackson is playing better and that he's the better option to start, are they going to have the same problem with John Wall not wanting to come off the bench as Houston did?
Mm-hmm.
So that to me that's going to be a factor there because I mean, not that Reggie Jackson's the greatest player in the world, but he's been a solid player for the Clippers.
Yes.
So who are they going to decide to go with starting there? And don't get me wrong, I think Reggie Jackson, if you start Wall and Wall's playing good, I think Reggie Jackson would be great to be running your second unit and getting to play against the other team's second unit. I think he could thrive in that role, and maybe even in that role, I think he might even be up for sixth man of the year. But is he going to buy into that role? And if it's the other way around, is John Wall going to buy into that role?
Well, the reason why John Wall wanted out of Houston, he didn't want to come off the bench. So I think with Ty Lue, I think Ty Lue would be able to convince John Wall more to say, hey, this is what's best for the team. I think maybe John Wall will do it for him. But of course, if John Wall is putting up better numbers than Reggie Jackson is, then, of course he'll be the starter. But Reggie has been solid since he's been with the Clippers. So he was a big reason why they won that playoff series with the Jazz last year. So he's also a very, very good. So the Clippers have two good players. They just got to figure out which one is going to start. But I do feel like Ty Lue will be able to convince John Wall more to say, hey, this is what's best for the team if John Wall does have to come off the bench.
Yeah, I think having Ty Lue is another big factor. But the other thing I think might help as well is it's a totally different situation as well. If you're asking the Tech or the Rockets asking John Wall to come off the bench, who's in front of you? Wall still felt like he was better than them younger players they were starting. I understand why Houston wanted to start those younger players because they wanted to see what they had because you're trying to rebuild.
Yeah.
But in John Wall's mind, I'm better than them guys. I should be playing. Well, when you go over to the team with the Clippers that have some established stars, even though like Kawhi Leonard's still trying to work his way back, but with Leonard and George, and you got Jackson, it might be easier for Wall mentally to be able to accept the coming off the bench when there's better players on that team than what you had in Houston that they were trying to start over you.
Yeah, definitely. It is different when you have people starting ahead of you that you think that you're better than, it'll make you more mad that you're coming off the bench. But I think if it was Reggie Jackson over him, or I forget his name, Man, if it's Man, over John Wall, I think of course the competitive side of John Wall will want to start, but I think he'll go, okay, these guys are good. I can go ahead and come up and be that sixth man.
And if he accepts that role and stays healthy, I think he would have the potential of maybe being in the conversation for a sixth man of the year.
Yeah, definitely. The Clippers are going to have a nice little roster here.
It's going to be the same old Clippers.
That was a combination of CP3. Yeah, they choked and all that, and then that was a combination of Doc too.
To me, it was a combination of Doc Rivers and injuries.
Yeah, Doc Rivers and injuries. Yeah,
and especially ill-timed injuries.
Right. So, and let's be honest now, if Kawhi doesn't get injured in the playoffs they would have made the finals, because they took the Suns to 6 games without Kawhi.
Yeah.
So with him, I feel like they would have won that conference final and they would have made the finals. Would they have won and beat Giannis? Probably not, but they would have made the final.
And then also in NBA news, the Spurs trade Murray to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, this gives the Atlanta Hawks a scary backcourt.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
They gave up three first-round draft picks and Gallinari. I think this is a good move for Atlanta.
Oh yeah, it is. 2 good players now in your backcourt. Capella, he's still there. You lose Gallinari, but you can always find somebody to be able to take that spot. So the Hawks, they're in better shape to at least be a top 6 team in the East. So
I think that backcourt's going to be scary. Like you said, you still have Capella, and you still have Bogdanovic that can come in and score you some points as well. So I mean, and if they can buy back in defensively like they did 2 seasons ago, to me that was their big problem last season. They didn't play with the defensive intensity that they did the season before when they had that playoff run.
Yeah.
If they can get back to playing defense, and then with that backcourt you have, and with Capella, I agree with you. They could be maybe a 4, 5, 6 seed somewhere around there in the East next season.
Oh yeah. The pieces are there as long as everybody stays healthy. What's his name? Donovich. He can, he can shoot 3. So the Hawks still have a good team.
Do you expect? Is there any other big free agency moves that you're expecting to come out maybe today or tomorrow, with it starting here in just a little while?
I'm interested to see where Bradley Beal goes.
A lot of people are expecting him to sign back with Washington.
Why would you do all that just to go back? You could have just stayed. You could have signed the max and got you some money and stayed if we were going to do that. If he does, that's kind of a waste of everyone's time. But I hope he goes somewhere different. Because he's not going to win nothing there. So I'll be interested to see where he ends up. We know that Kyrie is staying in Brooklyn. So does Brooklyn make any more moves? I'll be interested, to see if they make some moves.
Did it surprise you that Kyrie stayed in Brooklyn? It didn't. It didn't really me because I think Kyrie, when he kind of put the fillers out there, and I think he saw he didn't really have much option.
Yeah.
Because the reports were the only team that wanted to were interested in a signing trade were the Lakers, and the Lakers are trying to fleece people. They want to get everything and not give up anything at all.
Exactly.
The Nets weren't going to do that, so I think he realized his best option was to go ahead and take that player option, and then hopefully he goes in committed, plays a good, then he can shop around next season, and then he'd have a better chance probably.
Yeah, if Kyrie would have had a better series against the Celtics, maybe he would have had more teams that he could have chose from. But Brooklyn was his best choice. He wasn't gonna lose $30 million just to sign with the Lakers. So,
and I know some people won't agree with this, but to me, he kind of owed it to Kevin Durant to pick up that option and stay.
Yeah, he did. And we'll see. Now, this kind of can Kevin Durant talk Donovan Mitchell to come to Brooklyn? We'll see if he'll be able to do that. I know they'll have to trade some people in order for Donovan Mitchell to come, but they need another scorer. It can't just be Durant and Kyrie. So in this free agency, if they can't get that scorer, then they might want to look to trade.
Yeah, and another big piece for them is going to be Ben Simmons. What's going to go on with him? Is he going to be back playing? I mean, if he's back playing and you got a bought in Kyrie, them three together, I think they could cause a lot of trouble. And if they're able to bring in another piece, they're going to be a scary team. But nobody knows how Simmons' back injury is, where he's at mentally.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Simmons, whether he's back and committed to playing basketball.
Yeah. Mentally, is Ben Simmons going to be there mentally? And then when all that, even if you get all that, so you get, okay, Ben Simmons, he's mentally checked in. Okay, Kyrie, he's performing well. He's not worried about, what's going on in some other countries or whatever he's thinking. Thinking that the earth is flat and all that. Then you have KD, he's focused, he's locked in. Even if you get all three of these things, you still have Steve Nash as your coach.
I do where you go with it. You still have a coach that, to me, that team don't respect.
Yes. So that's a factor, especially during playoff time. They'll be fine during the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, you got to have a coach that's halfway decent.
And I'm not saying it's all Nash's fault that
Yeah.
he don't have the respect of the team. To me, it's Irving and Durant's fault when they came out saying they didn't need a head coach and stuff. Because if your stars don't show the coach respect, your younger players aren't going to.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, to me, the Brooklyn needs to move on, bring in another coach. I think it's once you lost the respect like that or never had it. I don't think he lost. I don't think he ever had it. If you don't, it's hard to change that.
Yeah, it is. Mark Jackson is available, Brooklyn. Just throwing that out there.
Don't understand. I still don't understand why that man don't have a coaching job unless he just don't want one.
It is weird. Um, he did an interview on Shannon Sharp's podcast talking about why he thinks it was, and I'll have to, you know, go back and listen to it. But he should have one.
Yeah, I agree.
He should have one.
In other NBA news, really isn't free agency, but Draymond Green says Warriors will win 3 of the next 4 titles. I tell you what, Draymond having a podcast might not be a good thing for the Warriors. But one thing I do like about what Draymond is doing, because it's different. You've seen other players go do podcast or start their own podcasts and stuff, but it's usually after they're done playing.
Yeah.
Or they get in the media after they're done playing. You start seeing them like on the inside the NBA and that stuff. Draymond is trying to be in the media and be a player at the same time. And we really haven't seen that. You know what I mean? Like he does the inside the NBA, fills in for them sometimes, and then now he has his own podcast. And to me, I mean, I kind of like to see how it could work if a player can do that, but I don't know if Draymond Green's the guy you want to be testing that out. Because Draymond's the type of dude that's going to say whatever comes to his mind that day.
Yeah.
And that could affect some of the stuff that's going on with the team. Because hell, he even kind of called Steph Curry out saying that if they wouldn't have got Durant, they might have not won those 2 titles because he didn't think Steph was at that level yet. And I'm thinking, dude. I was like, dude, I understand you think you're part of the media and you have a podcast and you want to give your thoughts out there. Yeah. You also got to watch what you talk about because you're still on a team.
Yeah. God bless Steve Kerr and his whatever Zen stuff he learned from, Phil Jackson. All those lessons are getting put to work right now. Look, Draymond, he is his own guy. It's cool to have a podcast as a player, but just like you said, Chris, you have to be careful with your words on certain things. I feel like they still could have won those championships without KD. But even if Draymond feels like, hey, we would not have won those 2 without KD, you don't go out and say, hey, we would have not won those 2 championships. Like, you don't say that. So, you have to choose your words wisely.
Well, another thing, 2 weeks ago, the other thing was 2 weeks ago, he was saying that Steph was still the lead man when KD was there. And then 2 weeks later, you come out and say this. So it's like, stay on one side, Draymond.
Exactly.
What's your thoughts on this, Rob? I see.
First of all, what's up, guys? How y'all feeling, man?
Doing good.
Doing good. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing good. And this is how I knew I was meant to be a part of this conversation. I tried to listen to the show and got a call. The moment I jumped off the call, I jumped on here. I don't even know where y'all was at in the discussion. And I just popped in and I heard the tail end of that, and all I can do is the same reaction I had when I heard him say it.
Yeah.
Draymond cracks me up. I love Draymond. I think he's an irritant. He's a troll. He does his job well.
Mhm.
But it's like he mentions that as the new media, he stands on what he says. With Draymond, I don't know where you're standing at on this debate because, as Chris alluded to, 2 weeks prior, you just talked about how Steph was the man. How what can they say now? This guy is a transcendent player. He's a Mount Rushmore player, and then turn right back around and say, "Well, we wouldn't have won the rings without KD. KD was pretty much the closer that we need. KD was the star that we need, the guy that can get his own shot, and Steph wasn't getting his own shot. A guy that averaged 30 in that finals
Right.
wasn't getting his own shot. The unanimous MVP wasn't able to get his own shot. The guy who led his team to the best regular season record in the NBA ever couldn't get his own shot. Oh, okay. Draymond, sometimes you got to learn. Not all takes are great takes, and that was a horrible take, my friend.
Yeah, especially when you're still playing. It's one thing when you're a retired player and you're doing a podcast and you're on the media and you're saying stuff, but when you're still playing, you don't want to take a shot at the best player on your team.
I mean, they were up on LeBron 3-1.
They're 3-1, yeah.
Just call it like it is. Y'all lost
a lot of people
focus
would
and
say
lost.
A lot of people would say they lost that series because Draymond got suspended.
Yeah.
Again, not shutting up because it wasn't the actual kick to the groin that got him suspended. Is what he said, calling LeBron the B word that got him suspended. And not to mention, you were up on this team 3-1. Just say you lost focus. But to sit here and say the following year, I can understand if you say, hey, we wouldn't have won those rings without KD and leave it at that. But you don't have to put Steph down to try to build KD up. Steph is your teammate, not KD.
Yeah, don't throw Steph under the bus to give KD a compliment.
Exactly.
Steph can get his own shot. I mean, what it really was is Steph was still little Steph. You can kind of push Steph around back then. You can't really push this Steph around. You got a little build to him now. You got a little swagger in that muscle.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like flipping because Draymond was the same person that told KD that we don't need you. That's like kind of like.
Wasn't that the reason KD left?
That's kind of like telling your ex-girlfriend, hey, I don't need you. And then years go on, be like, well, yeah, I kind of, without you, I wouldn't have been able to do so. It's like, what? Didn't you just say you didn't need her?
Stand on your word, bro.
Stand on your word.
Well, that's the thing with Draymond. He's gone back and forth so much. I mean, it went from the reason most people thought your team lost to LeBron that year was because you got suspended.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was that that he called and begged KD to come to the Warriors. Then he tells KD, we don't need you. We can win without you. And then you win without KD, and you're saying that you had to have KD to win.
Make up your mind.
Make up your mind.
Make up your mind. What do you want to do? What do you want? Do you want KD to come back? Is that your pitch? Because you see right now Brooklyn is in shambles, and you like KD, don't this grass look green once again?
They would definitely win 3 out of the net. His prediction would be right if that happens now. That's 3 out of 4.
That's my take from it, And it's funny how the media works because I know Draymond's been talking about the media. I don't know where I would stand at as far as new media or old media, but it's funny how the media works. You're trying to give a take and you become a take.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what? I think Draymond just needs to soak in the wind, You know, I didn't mind the other takes what he was doing, how he was calling out these media heads. Like, oh yeah, I remember you said that you know, blase, blase, blah. You know, and I like that, you know. If media people can call out the players should be able to call out the media once you prove them wrong.
All right.
So I didn't have a problem with that, but now, you know, I think Draymond is trying to be so technical that, you know, how too much of a good thing is a bad thing. That's what this reminds me of. Like, you're trying to be so technical in the way that you talk about the game that you contradict yourself. And in reality, basketball is one big contradiction, because one day this player can be here and the next day.
Well, my thing is yeah, I agree. If you want to go after the old media, as he calls them, do it. But once you start bringing in players,
Mm-hmm.
you need to chill on that until you're not an active player anymore.
You
because
should. Yep,
you
I
can
agree.
you can ruin relationships, and you never know when them players that you're talking bad about could end up on your team one day.
I agree. I agree. I agree, because I'm gonna tell you guys right now. That's interesting you bring that up, my boy Chris, because it's gonna be some bad blood with Chris Paul and Pat Beverly see each other on that basketball court.
Yes.
Like, you still got to come see me. Like, and that's gonna be my motivation and my mindset. If I hear a player on First Take, on Undisputed, on First Things First, or whatever, bro, if you still actively in the league and you talking out the side of your neck, you gotta come see me.
Somebody might get hurt in that matchup. That's not,
You call me a
that,
cone
you
on
know,
national TV. You call me a cone.
a cone.
And that's a good point, Rob, because it's not just Draymond. There's other players that have been starting to be more in the media that are talking about players that while you're still in the league, and it's just not a good idea because karma can come back and get you.
Yeah. And not to mention, you making the front office job harder. Because let's say I entice this player to come play, and they tell me, let's think if I'm the Warriors, and you know how I feel about Kevin Durant, but I'm putting on my general manager hat right now. Think if I'm the Warriors, and I can go to Kevin Durant and say, "Hey man, we want you to come back," and because of something Draymond said is the reason he don't want to come back on this podcast, because we know Draymond can flip the switch. He can go from praising KD to criticizing KD, and we all know KD don't take well to criticism. You know, think if I'm Patrick Beverly and the Minnesota Timberwolves, not that this will ever happen, but let's say Chris Paul leaves Phoenix and he has one more good year left in him, and Minnesota say, "Hey, come take the veterans minimum." And Chris Paul go to that front office and say, "I would, but as long as Pat Beverly on that team, I'm not playing with y'all." You're making the front office job harder, and you putting your job at stake if you ain't who you think you are. Cause Pat Beverly, let me tell you, I know you from Chicago. I love you, brother, for what you do. You ain't what you think you are on that basketball court. You might whoop my ass, but stop talking like you better than Chris Paul, bro. Stop that.
Patrick Beverly is a good defensive player, and that is it.
And a good antagonizer, good.
To be honest, he ain't.
He's a good guy to get under people. He's a good guy to get under the other team's skin, kind of like Draymond Green.
Yeah,
he ain't the defender he was, because as I recall, Ja gave him the business in the playoffs. As I recall,
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. That's why I was like, well, Pat Bev, you getting kind of old, dog.
Yeah, you can't be talking reckless like that. You know, I mean, like I say, I love Pat Bev. You know, I love his tenacity. I love how he irritates. I mean, hey, if that's your game, you got to be the best at your game. You got to make people hate you.
Yeah,
if that's how you play. So I can't get mad at people hating Pat Beverly, because to me, job well done. He did what he was supposed to do. But when you get on national TV and start talking like you that dude, you not that dude, bro. Like, when people think of the NBA, your name don't even pop up in their head, bro.
No.
No.
I'm just calling it like I see it.
I mean, yeah, that's it. It doesn't come up.
It doesn't. And in no way, I'm sorry if it's 10 players on the court and we picking a team, you're not in my top 3 picks.
It might be the 10th pick.
Yeah, he's a 10. Yeah.
I might just say we good with 4.
He's a guy that's like, okay, who's gonna be last?
It's not going to be like that Charles Barkley commercial. See, I told you she'd pick me over you.
Right.
I just laugh. I know it's good entertainment for us. See, like I like how JJ talk. JJ really comes from an aspect of he's looking like he's giving you a take of the actual game. He's not saying what he would have done, or it's because JJ know his role was limited to him shooting.
Right.
He's not gonna break you down off the dribble and do all that. He gonna do what he do, and he good at what he does.
I even thought CJ McCollum done a good job.
Yeah, I love CJ. I like CJ.
He's done a good job on there since they've been having him on there here lately. I like the way he breaks down stuff, and he's not burying nobody. Even when he was talking about him being the head of the Players Association or whatever, you know what I mean, and talking about the league or about the league wanting to shorten the number of games and and the players. You know what I mean? I thought he was real intelligent and real. He knew he stayed kind of in the middle. He didn't lean either way where you could either side could come back and get on him about it.
Yeah, and see, I like there's a couple of these athletes I like, but I think sometimes you have to remember from a media standpoint. I know we laugh and joke on this network, but I want to think when we get more eyes and this network gets more serious that it's going to be a lot more professional takes where personal feelings are kind of taken out. And I know it's hard to say that because sports can get personal, but when these players start getting personal with each other, now it's like, Draymond talks about the media doing clickbait. What you think people doing when they see Draymond arguing with Kendrick Perkins? That's clickbait.
Oh yeah, that's clickbait.
So you taking it from the aspect of trying to call the game like you see it to now having a war of words with this dude Kendrick Perkins.
And Perkins is another guy that since he's became media, he'll call out anybody.
I like Perk. I actually like Perk,
and that's why I like. You like it because he don't back down. He'll call out anybody, and he stays with whatever take he had, good or bad. He's going to stand by his take.
And I can't get mad at that. You know what I mean? So I did think with myself, he went a little overboard with the jail outfit. He was dressed like a prisoner. Talking about Boston is going to lock down the Golden State Warriors. He was definitely wrong on that take. But, I get where Draymond was coming from that. But, to call him what he called him, we don't want to, promote that word. But we know that's a negative connotation. You're talking to a black person trying to, appease a Caucasian person. It's a word that is called for that. So, I get, when he called Kendrick Perkins that, okay, now all jokes aside, bro, don't call me out my name. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I understood that.
Yeah.
So, if Draymond came out and apologized, I don't think he personally apologized to Kendrick. He apologized for using the word, but he didn't at least I didn't see anything of him telling Perk, hey, all beef aside, my bad for disrespecting you. But you know what I'm saying? What's up, Con, man? We definitely missing you, my boy. But you didn't hear me say that though, Con, man. I personally don't like you, but
what's going on, Kyle, man? And also, my dad said, where does Harden go? Dad, Harden's going to re-sign with the Sixers.
He's going to stay with the Sixers. I think he's going to do the Sixers a favor and take a smaller contract.
Yeah, he just went out of his option to take a smaller contract. So, because the Sixers are trying to bring in PJ Tucker to add to that team.
Yeah, I know James Harden realized he trash now. So he lucky he getting the money he getting, honestly.
Wait a minute, you don't think it's because he finally decided he wants to try to win?
Man, that boy trash. He realized he need help. It's gonna take more. especially with the lack of defense they have, is a guy like PJ Tucker is going to be great for the Philadelphia 76ers. Also a guy that can hit those corner threes when they get that dribble penetration. So, my only problem with Philly, I've always said that Joel Embiid is too damn big to be always on the perimeter. He take his big ass down the paint and bang.
All right.
Yeah, Damian said he 100% agree with Draymond. Everything he said about Steph. Steph shouldn't be the finals MVP.
Yeah, I know.
Wiggins was robbed.
I don't pay attention to what Damian say. This is the same dude that put Allen Iverson in this top 10.
Oh yeah, the top 5.
I'm not.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that top 15.
I'm never gonna forget. Like I don't even care what he said about basketball now.
Without Steph having the 43 points in Game 4, Golden State would not have won the championship. So he is the MVP.
I don't get what else. How do you go 0 for 9 from the 3-point line and still affect the game?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how many shots. Steph Curry can miss 100 shots in a row. I bet you he won't be open on that 101st shot.
Yep.
I don't care how many shots he misses. You're not going to leave that man open. And he's going to get double team, triple team every time he come off the screen. So that's not, you say what you want to, Damien. We all the real hoopers, they watch the game.
Anybody watch that series and thinks that anybody besides Steph was the finals MVP, you don't watch enough basketball.
With all due disrespect, as Pride would say.
Disrespect.
As my boy Pride would say, with all due disrespect.
Disrespect.
We need to not discuss anything related to basketball again.
AI changed the culture of the NBA.
We're not talking about top 5. We're not talking about, and we're talking about changing, game changing, life changing players.
Steph Curry has to be right up there.
Changing players, then AI is in the top 5. But
and also you have to put Steph Curry right up there as well. Look how much Steph Curry's changed the game.
Oh, with the way people shoot. Yes, sir. But what people always say that when it comes to my top 10. What you've done culturally does not affect me. My top 10 is strictly based off your accolades and what you did on that court. And I love Allen Iverson. But to have him over LeBron James, to have him over Shaq, that's disrespectful, bro. Have him over Magic, over Bird? Are you crazy?
Iverson is not better than those.
He's not in the top 10. I already know if he's top 15. If you want to be real, you had him over Duncan. Are you crazy, boy? Did you watch the game?
Do you think that Philly, with Harden giving them a little extra money and them talking about bringing in Tucker, are they going to be able to put enough around Harden and Embiid to be able to compete or be a real contender in the East? I guess you still have Maxey on that team as well, don't you?
I don't know, because I'm going to say what I said again last year. And I've said this on several shows, and I've said this on my show. When Tyrese Maxey is your second best player, that's not a championship team. No disrespect to Tyrese Maxey. But it's not like PJ Tucker is going to come in and change life for the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, maybe a little bit defensively, but offensively, it's still going to be the same team without a lane penetrator, because now, we're going to replace him. You're going to put Thibault on the bench. So now you lose some athleticism on the court. PJ Tucker is strong and he does his thing, but he's not a person that I would consider athletic. So now James Harden's still going to be the same player. Joel Embiid is going to be your best player. It's either going to be Tyrese Maxey or Tobias Harris. And honestly, if either one of those guys are your second best players, that's not a recipe for a championship winning team to me.
Yeah, the Sixers need to get another scorer in there.
They should have been going for Bradley Beal.
There you go. That's where Bradley Beal need to go. Don't go back to Washington. because you wasted everybody's time if you do that. Go to Philly. Go somewhere where you have a chance to win.
Yeah, because if you think going to the Lakers, you're gonna be in the same position you was in Washington, bro.
Yep. The only difference is you get to play with your friend. That's
right.
That's the only thing. But and also I'm kind of surprised that Doc still has a job in Philly. Honestly, but they feel like he's still their best option for a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Listen to this. Breaking news. USC and UCLA are exploring options of moving to the Big Ten.
Oh,
what?
On ESPN. Just
the heck? We're gonna add some West Coast teams to the Big Ten. Okay.
Come on,
but how's that going to work traveling wise? That's going to be
I am just now seeing it, Rob. Yeah.
I want to read into that more before we discuss that. But that's crazy. That headline definitely catches you.
Let's definitely talk about that tomorrow because this makes no sense. Like I am ready to say something bad. They belong in the Pac-12.
Chris brought up the most obvious point: the travel.
The travel. You gonna ride a bus all the way to California?
Y'all making that much money? We getting private jets now? Got a UCLA private jet?
I didn't think with the NIL deals that they'd be able to afford that. The way some of these teams want to talk.
Hey, you know what though? I'm gonna tell you like this: some of the NIL deals that I've seen has really made me question, like, how much money do these schools really make if they can afford this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The money they've been keeping to themselves for all these years.
I can't imagine how much money Bama done made.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, then you have the boosters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you know it's real as long as CBS is still around and willing to show your games on their network. Oh, it's real.
Yes, sir. CBS has made a lot of money from the SEC, and the SEC has made a lot of money from CBS.
No, I'm gonna have to read up on that one, Tony.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that either. The list of each NFL team's greatest player.
I'm gonna have to go check that out. I know for the Bears, it got to be Walter Payton.
That'd be something else we could talk about tomorrow.
Got to be Walter Payton.
Yeah, got to be Walter for the Bears. Yeah.
Jeff Barber, Knicks are about to give Jalen Brunson $30 million, poverty team.
You know what? I'm just, it's disappointing, man.
With the Sixers, I think Tucker will help them, but I'd agree they need another scorer because Tucker's going to help defensively and I think leadership wise. But he's not going to help on the offensive side of the ball.
Not at all. Not at all, man. I don't know what the Sixers are going to do. I don't trust them. I mean, Doc Rivers, if I was him, I probably would have been trying to skip town before they try to skip town on me.
And then to talk a little NFL before we get out of here.
Yeah.
I heard a topic that yesterday that I know Greg will probably like this topic as well. Were the last year Bengals a fluke?
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go, Greg.
Kind of. Whenever you go on a Super Bowl run, you're gonna need some breaks, and they got all of them on their run. They played the Raiders. The imaginary whistle was blown, and then they kept playing and got a touchdown off of it. And, they ended up winning by 7. They played Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill has the worst game of his life. And Mike Vrabel all of a sudden decides, I believe in analytics and goes for 2 for no reason. they end up beating Tennessee, and then you know what happened in the second half, AFC Championship against the Chiefs. So they had breaks on the way. Um, Now, at the same time, their defense played better in the playoffs than it, had during the season. I still think they are a playoff team. I still think they'll make the playoffs this year. But as far as the Bengals, like, oh yeah, this is a Super Bowl team for this season. No. Because I still feel like the Chiefs, they had the better team to beat them last year. Even without Tyreek Hill, I still feel like the Chiefs have the better team. Patrick Mahomes has more options now. It's not just Tyreek and Kelsey. So, and then Cincinnati still has to deal with the Ravens and their own division. So, but was it a fluke? Kind of, but at the same time, when you're going on a Super Bowl run, there are going to be games where you're going to need breaks. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't call it a fluke, but do I think they'll be back in the Super Bowl this year? Not necessarily. I mean, don't get me wrong, they could, but with it, like you said, with any team that takes a deep playoff run or goes on a Super Bowl run, or if you even look in other sports, NBA playoffs, any kind of playoffs, every team has some luck on their side.
Oh yeah.
You get the breaks go your way, or I mean, and that happens every year when you're making a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
One thing I would say, I do think the Bengals are going to be good this year, and I think they'll have a chance to make a playoff run because I do think they improved their offensive line. And if you can win them games last year when Burrow's getting sacked 9 times and 7 times a game, especially in playoff games, having a better offensive line, I think is really going to help them. So I think they're going to be a good team this year and could make a deep playoff run. But I wouldn't call it a fluke, but everything did bounce their way last year. But like I said, you need that when you're making a deep playoff run.
I agree. I agree with both of you guys. I think in a way you can kind of look at it as a fluke, especially too on the AFC side. I mean, I don't know what happened with the Kansas City Chiefs.
And Dad just brought up a good point. Bengals have the third toughest schedule in the NFL this year.
We're gonna see how good you really are. Especially because it was either Kansas City or Buffalo that was your favorites to come out the AFC. So it was, I wasn't expecting the Bengals to get as far as they did, especially too after the Tennessee game. I mean, 9 sacks.
Yeah.
And yet they were still able to win. And then on the flip side of the coin, I agree with Chris. I mean, this year they have a chance to make it back or to make a real a lot of noise in the playoffs because they have improved that offensive line. You still have that great 1-2 punch of Jamar Chase and my boy Smoking Joe. So I think the Bengals are in good shape. They've always had a great offense, just no protection for the quarterback. But if we talk about receivers that can, nice tight end that can blow you out the water, they have that. And their defense is okay enough for them to stay in games. So it's up in the air. If we really, I don't want to say it was a fluke. I don't think it was they overachieved. I would say that, but I wouldn't say it was a fluke. Let's say it like that. They overachieved, but I wouldn't call it a fluke because I do think that Joe Burrow has the chance to become a top 10 quarterback in that league.
I think Joe Burrow, he has that it factor that you can't really. It's hard to say exactly what it is, but he makes other players around him play better, and you've seen that with some other quarterbacks because for them to do what they did last year. Without Joe, and for the Bengals to improve as much as they have in Joe Burrow's short time, especially after he got hurt, in his
Like
first
he was like missed the whole first year, right?
Yeah, he missed the
when he played like 6 games, I
yeah,
think.
six,
Missed
7
it. Missed this. I think it was the ACL injury, something like that.
Yeah,
toward his knee.
yeah, because he was getting killed. No offensive line. He was
Yeah.
getting killed, man. I remember his rookie year watching every game. Like, dude, the Bengals are going to get Joe Burrow killed. He ain't going to play more than 2 seasons in the NFL. It almost felt like another Andrew Luck situation, but in a way worse.
Yeah.
Like I said, you don't want him to end up like Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, boy, Jay
Start
Cutler
twitching.
used to be that twitch boy was real. I mean,
somebody's coming. Oh, it's
I'm
nobody
pretty
around.
sure that man. I'm pretty sure that man was having nightmares about some of the hits he was taking. And then I felt so bad for Smoking Joe because you deal with that in the Tennessee game, and then you got to go to the Super Bowl, and now you playing Aaron Donald, who many regards right now is one of the best defensive players to ever lace up.
What, he get
Besides
sacked in
Lawrence
the
Taylor.
I think he got sacked 7 times in the Super Bowl.
7 times in the Super Bowl, including the game-winning sack.
Yep. And
people was like, "Oh, he threw an interception at the end." He didn't have a choice.
Yeah, he didn't have a choice.
He had to try to make something happen at that point. If he took the sack, the game was over. He had to throw the ball up and hope a miracle happened.
The game was over before the interception. That man tried to get him a fighting chance.
And on that last play where Burrow got sacked, Jamar Chase was wide open.
Yeah. But that just shows you what happens when you don't have no protection for your quarterback. You don't even give him a chance to look his way.
Exactly.
Yeah, he didn't have no time to see anything that play.
And that man called hike, and he looked up, and they was in his face.
Now, I do look for more teams this season, more defenses to play that 2 deep safety.
Yeah,
when they played the same strategy they used for the Chiefs last year.
Yeah,
2 deep safeties, not let Jamar Chase get the big play.
Yep. Force you to try to dink and dunk down the field.
Yeah, so they're going to have to do 13, 15 play drives.
But I think Cincinnati has the weapon. They still got Tyler, right? Or what was his name?
Higgins. T. Higgins. Yeah,
T. Higgins. So they have some weapons where they can dink and dunk.
Yeah,
and then Chase can hit you with the boom.
Yeah, he can.
And when you got big playmakers like that, it's deadlier to have a good receiver or a great receiver. But when you have a great quarterback to get it to that great receiver, oh man.
Another thing about Chase is if you can compare him to like a Tyreek Hill, Chase is a lot better route runner. Chase can run them shorter routes. He's not just a home run.
He's an actual receiver.
Yeah, he can run routes and stuff. So you can use him in your short game more than what you could use a guy like Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and he got great hands, and that's always a recipe for a great receiver.
Then reports are coming out. Basically, I don't know if you guys saw Baker Mayfield on TV yesterday. He basically said that him and the Browns are done. He did leave it open when they asked him if the Browns didn't have a quarterback. Would you play it? He said, well, there'd have to be some reaching out done for that to happen. So he did leave it open. But from everything I've heard, the Browns and everybody, even the Browns have said if Watson ain't there, that Baker's not their backup plan. That it's Jacoby Brissett. And to me, if you're the Browns, that's stupid. I'd be reaching out to Baker. Hey, I know we fucked this up. What can we do to reconcile this? At least give him to play this season for you, because I'm sorry, nothing against Jacoby Brissett, but he's not the answer.
Hey, you know what? You know how they say sometimes relationships are just irreconcilable.
Yeah, this is one of them. It ain't enough flowers in the world that could give Baker Mayfield a comeback.
Think about the disrespect. I get it. Like I said, I understand business. If I'm Baker, I understand you went to go get Deshaun Watson. But that's a smack in the face to get him while you still got me.
All right.
And then I have to face this embarrassment of looking like no team wants me because y'all don't want to pay the little funky ass $19 million
Looking
after
like
what I did for you. After I took you nothing team to at least being in people's conversation. When the last time people talked about the Cleveland Browns this long?
Never.
Probably since Fred Brown.
Definitely not since the Browns left Cleveland and then came back.
Right.
You know what? It's sad, man. You know, and if I'm Baker, I'm gone too. Hey, bro.
Oh, if I'm Baker, I'm giving you the middle finger on the way out.
There it is.
I don't care what happens to
you
y'all.
made me go through this where people are saying that you guys would rather go get a quarterback that is accused of assault on 22 different women.
24.
You're 24, and you don't know it, and you don't even know if he's going to play.
No.
But he was worth going and get over me. Oh yeah.
Hey, you gave him guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not only guaranteed money.
If I make Mayfield,
made him the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Oh God!
You gotta love irony.
You gotta love irony, right?
No.
Now you need me.
And it makes no sense. I didn't understand it for the Browns because, like we talked about before, how many games did you win before Baker Mayfield got there?
It's not a whole lot.
Not that Baker was playing great, but he turned your guys' franchise around a lot.
He played better than who was there.
Exactly.
I don't even remember who was there.
Before Baker got there, the Browns, last time they made the playoffs, their quarterback's name was Kelly Holcomb.
That's a long
that's a long time ago. That was the only year Kelly Holcomb was good, by the way.
I was going to say Cleveland's had so many quarterbacks that I forgot about Kelly Holcomb playing for him.
Kelly Holcomb played, yes, he did.
Have you seen that jersey they have where all the Cleveland quarterbacks since they had a winning record or whatever?
I got to go check that out. Oh my goodness, man!
Browns fans have suffered.
And it's just a little wrestling news before I head up out of here. Logan Paul has just inked a deal with WWE for a multi-event contract.
Wow.
Hey, I ain't mad at the guy, man. Get money. Get money, man. Get money, Logan. Hey, you know, more power to him, man. This dude came from being a YouTube sensation to, you know, fighting Floyd Mayweather. And regardless, I know they had conversations of he wasn't paid or whatever. Bro, you just being in the ring with that man is gonna raise you to new heights, and we see where it's going now. You know, so more power to him. I hope if he didn't get paid with Floyd that he do get paid and continue to make money, Logan. I like it. A
lot of people don't realize too. Logan and Jake Paul were both real good amateur wrestlers. They have a wrestling background. They were good wrestlers out of Ohio.
Yeah, and he didn't have a bad match, honestly. You know, I still say nobody surprised me more than Bad Bunny, but
yep,
they didn't have a bad match.
Bad Bunny and Pat McAfee. Pat
McAfee could wrestle. When he jumped up to the top rope, I was like, okay, Pat.
Yeah,
I'm talking about this a punter, right?
Yeah, it's a punter. Like, damn, maybe the Colts should have used you in a different position.
I'm telling you, man. You know, hey, I like Pat McAfee. He actually has a great podcast, by the way.
Oh yeah, I love his podcast. A lot.
I love his podcast, man. The one with Vince McMahon was epic.
Yep,
that was an epic pod. And Brock Lesnar. You know, we actually got to see personality out of Brock, and I think Pat McAfee got that. He got that weird personality to bring your personality out. You know, because he really being himself.
He had Sugar Sean O'Malley on there yesterday.
Word! I'm gonna have to check that out. You know
what?
It
was good.
I was watching Drink Champs. I was watching Chris Brown interview yesterday.
All right.
Hey, gave me a new light on Chris Brown, man. I rocks with that man. That man just trying to take care of his family.
Yeah, Sugar Sean has a big fight coming up this weekend, and he was talking about it and stuff. And yeah, that dude kills me. He's funny.
Hey.
And then speaking of the Paul Bros, Jake Paul's getting ready to be fighting Tyson Fury's brother,
Yeah, what's
Tommy
his
Fury here
name?
coming
Tommy
up.
Fury. But you know what? They just said he got like a U.S. ban
Oh,
or
I
something.
didn't see that come out.
Yeah, he's like banned from entering the U.S. So I think his team got to take care of that because they're supposed to be fighting in what, like September, July, something like that.
Yeah. Then you're having
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell was getting ready to fight.
Yeah, that's Le'Veon Bell.
I forget who he's fighting now. He's fighting another.
Ain't
Oh,
it?
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, AP
Are
and
you
Le'Veon
serious?
Bell are talking about having a boxing next. Yeah, boxing.
Wow. I'll watch that.
Oh, I'll watch it, but it's like what all of a sudden did these pro athletes decide? Oh yeah, when I get done playing pro football, I'm gonna get in a boxing ring.
Nah, well, you know what it was, man. Like once again, Mayweather, you setting the trend.
Yeah.
Setting the trend. This man fought what, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
They got their success, and now you see what him. I can really say him and Tyson because people was intrigued when they started hearing the Tyson Holyfield thing, but then he ended up fighting Roy Jones, and we can clearly see Tyson can still fight, Roy cannot.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible, man. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be great, but I was expecting Jones to fight a little bit. I wasn't expecting just kept grabbing a hold of him. I'm like, but Tyson, dude, the shape he's in.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, Mike Tyson. I think they had an agreement of, hey, bro, please just don't hit me in the face, because it was times that Mike Tyson could have honestly committed murder, and he pulled this punch. You can see it, like literally see it. I was shocked Tyson was still that fast. I said, "Good God Almighty!" He had 54. I still wouldn't fight that man.
Yeah, Tyson in his prime.
Oh shit! They're saying that UCLA and USC could be in the Big Ten as early as 2024.
Yeah, man.
Usually that takes a while.
That's a while, yeah. And you're seeing it change now. So if this does happen, USC and UCLA, Big Ten, Texas going to the SEC, or was that Oklahoma? It was one of them. So it's starting to change. Big 12. Who knows if there'll still be a Big 12 in a couple years? So it's crazy. Which is fine because Kansas can go to some other conference and they can finally start losing, which will make me happy. That's good.
All right, before we get out of here for today, you guys got any final thoughts?
Oh man. Tune in, everyone. On Saturday, we'll have a new episode of Red Kingdom on Saturday on ASAP. So, me and my co-host RJ will get on, and we will. So, for this month, we're gonna break down the division. So this week we'll talk about the Chargers and the matchup with them, and we'll go in depth and on how we think that matchup is going to go on Saturday. So y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all got some extra time. Tune in to Red Kingdom on Saturday at 1 p.m. Central.
Yes, sir.
You got any final thoughts, Rob?
No. Just waiting until 3 p.m. Start seeing what's gonna happen with this NBA free agency. See what teams are gonna make smart moves and what teams are gonna prove that they don't need whoever they have as general manager. So just excited to see a little action in the NBA, and got to map out a plan and when to get back to my show, man. I've been so busy. When I get home, I'm tired, and I haven't really, spent some time on Rob's 2 cents. So that's gonna be coming back real. I didn't even do my championship celebration yet. That's coming back. That's coming back real soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, any of your subscribers of Rob's 2 cents out there, if you want to just check your boy out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, go look at some episodes right now. I promise you, I'll be back.
Yeah, and we'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern with the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. But one quick thing, tonight I have a big interview at 6 p.m. Eastern with the wrestling promoter Walter Buckley. He's the promoter of Thunder or Blunder, 3 independent wrestling organization that has a big show coming up this Saturday, July 2nd here in Indiana. That's at 6 o'clock. Then at 7:30 p.m. tonight, we're doing a live watch along for the Game Changer Wrestling. There's like 4 or 5 wrestlers that are from the state of Indiana that are on the independent scene that are wrestling on the Game Changer Wrestling tonight. So we're going to do a live watch along for that. So if you're looking for something to watch later this evening, take a look over at the Gonzo Sports Room YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch pages, as we'll have a couple different shows on this evening. And also, don't forget, I have the Easy Money, a sports betting show coming up here just around 3 o'clock or a little after, and you can find it on ASAP Sports and on the Gonzo Sports Room channels.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
We appreciate everybody watching us today. We appreciate all the support, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern with another episode of the ASAP Afternoon Blitz.
We gone.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.